Hi everybody. I'm hoping you can all see my screen. Today I'm just going to talk to you about developing the perfect brand experience. I'm Steve Gill, a director at Lemon Top Creative, and I'm going to cover on here. Oh, sorry, click the pointer there. I'm going to go through a few practical steps about how you can take a look and make a positive change to your business. At the end of the PDF, there are 5 exercises you can also available to download. And if you go through them, they can be really great. Really great if you could share those results with me at a later date. But they will sort of see how you look at the culture and your customer experience from your business point of view. And brands exist in the mind. Brands are like Lego. So with your company, imagine the toy you want to build. You can't give this complete toy to your customers. So you have to deconstruct it. And this is a bit like with everybody's brand. They can see colors, read text, and interact with it. And this is how a brand sort of exists. It doesn't exist as a tangible, but what you've got is you create something in your mind, and then everybody else sort of interacts with it and builds their opinion of it as they go along. And a great statement from that is by Jeff Bezos, where he says, "Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room," which is true. I mean, the amount of times we talk about other companies and about what they're doing, we're building our own opinions of what is actually going on. So the question you could all ask yourself today is, how many of you here today have a marketing plan? I'm sure we'll all have something of a marketing plan. If you don't, it's okay. But if you ask yourself the next question, this is really important. How many of you here have clearly defined brand vision, mission, and values? If we ask what they are, do you know them? But without knowing your vision, mission, and values, your logo, labels, and all the related point of sale material could become disjointed, inconsistent, and at odds with each other. So your marketing could be costing you more than it really should for the same results. It can reduce in sales, fewer repeat customers due to bad experiences, and employee customer experience, it could be a little bit poorer. So without knowing these values and sharing these values, we can find that the experience is not as we would want it to be. And sometimes we see it far easier to say, okay, the advertising or whatever's not working, let's just change what that looks like. So we can say change what we say about the company rather than change the company culture. Because to have a real positive effect out there, that greatness from everybody always starts from within. Remember, it's your company culture that endures in any business, and people come and go, products and packaging change, but with the right planning, your company culture remains constant for you and your customers. So whatever happens, that's got to be the focus to make sure that everything that the customer interacts with is positive. It's not what you do for your customers, it's how you make them feel is the ultimate feeling for everything. If your customer goes away with a good experience, they'll tell somebody else. If they go with a bad experience, again, they're sort of tainting the brand. You want to have a positive brand, so it's everything you've got to do makes them feel. How it makes them feel. So we experience this brand culture through various touch points, and we'll all be familiar with what the touch points are, with something like on the slide that's showing. But it could be anything from the smell of fresh coffee, the sound of a beer opening, to how easy your website is to use. All these different touch points have an effect on how our customers work with us and understand us. So whether that's from direct mail to the website, everything that we do affects the brand. And a good example of that, I mean, we've worked in retail for many years, but you'd never see Coca-Cola compromise on its values or move from the premium space on a shelf. That doesn't happen because retailers understand the requirements from Coca-Cola and their brand guidelines and what they want from that. And I know Coca-Cola are probably the biggest player, but effectively that's what happens. They'll decide, and any negotiations you're putting into retail outlets, there'll be that, where is it going to sit within the shelf? What does it look like? How does it stand out? And standing out at that point becomes quite crucial. And do your customers relate to your company culture? Depending on different company cultures, it may not fit with the type of audience you're looking for. You can't please all the people all the time, and knowing your audience is vital. Trying to please a broad audience, you're always going to end up with where you're going to end up pleasing none, because there's always going to be something that nobody likes. You really need to know who your audience is, and then that you play to your strengths that way. And your company culture isn't what you say it is, it's what you do. So company culture can be described as a shared ethos of an organization. It's the way that people feel about the way they work, about how your employees feel, the values they believe in, where they see the company going, and what they're going to do to get there collectively. That's your company culture. That then affects every interaction with your customers and their customers as well, whether they're showing your product off. If they buy into your culture, they can then promote you and have an overall understanding of the brand and what it means, and people enjoy using that brand. I mean, there's lots of brands out there. I mean, I'm a big Nike fan. I just buy their products all the time, but whether they make me run any faster, I'm not quite sure, but it's something that I've tried changing shoes and I don't like it. So what kind of brand are you? What's your brand personality? What are your values? What's the tone of voice? What do you look like? Well, there's a few examples here of sort of, they're not drinks-related brands, but it's a good example of what type of brands they are and the message that they give out. So a good example here is Innocent. They're a fun, quirky brand. It's simple, it's stylish, and they have a humorous, offbeat advertising feel to it, and they emphasize a laid-back attitude. And you can see that throughout the style that they deliver. Look at Berghaus. It's a sociable, outdoors, lifestyle, and everything they do and everything they emphasize is about how the brand and how you feel interacting with that brand. It's that positive emotion and emotional connection with them. And then AO.com portrays a simple, straightforward brand at its best. Use of a simple, bright color, basic icons, creates a stunning, eye-catching brand. And for quite a while now, that's been one of our favorites within the office of a type of brand that represents exactly what they do. So you've really got to be who you want to be. You've got to make that decision. Are you a brave and adventurous? Are you friendly, sociable, funny and quirky? What type of business do you want to be and to portray? And what do your employees want? That message wants to come out. These are all the things that you've got to make a decision on. Certainly, I mean, you can do it at any stage within the business, but if you're doing it early in the business, is good. But sometimes it's good to just refresh where you are and get a grounding of, this is where we are now, and this is what we want to be, and how do we make those positive changes going forward. So how do we help with that? Well, we work with lots of different brands, and probably many of you here we work with, but we can also look at your company culture. That was obviously that developing that can generate greater prosperity. We help to create long-lasting emotional connections between your brand and your customers. It can give you an improved approach to advertising, marketing, and the fresh ideas of where to sell your product. So looking at your brand and how we can help, that's how we come in and sort of look at that from an outsider and a different picture of your business. So where do we start? Well, this is where these 5 exercises come into. Because with all these things, and to start, if we were doing any brand development of a project, it all starts with you. Everything is about what you are as a business. So we have 5 exercises you could download today and look at those, go through them. Some can be quite difficult, although they seem quite simple. They'll be quite difficult, but they will give you an insight on where you are and what you're doing with your brand. And the first one is the reduction exercise. This seems to be quite simple, but it isn't. So if you've got people within your organization, the more the better. What you would get them to do is describe your business in 3 sentences, describe your business in 2 sentences, and then break that down. Well, describe your business now in 2 words and in 1 word, and you will get a real clear picture of how you need to align your company internally, because everybody will have different opinions and different words, and associate that, and this picture will emerge of what your business looks like. The attributes exercise. Again, what we have to do here is we collect attributes. So if you've got material on your website, and you would get or the words that are used, get your team to get 10 words to describe you, and you collect this list together, and you start building a description of from internal of the company and your clients as to what really describes you as a business. And then you analyze these results and look at them. It can be quite you've got to get everybody involved to do this, but it will also develop a picture of all the positive statements and all the negative statements. And again, that will sort of highlight how you sit as a company, and things that you may want to change. The ONLYNESS exercise. Well, this is where what we have to do here is we have there's a template on the next page, and we've got to fill that. You've got to fill that in to describe your company. And so you collect all so they'll fill it out, and you collect all the answers together. And again, what you'll do is find out your individuality within your area, your business. So we would say things like our company product is the only that provides for wherever the audience is, and also who you want to, and that emotional connection with that audience. So you fill that in, and what it does, it then gives you an insight into. So what we're going to, I'll just go back to the slide. So what we're doing is we're going to get this information from everybody within your company, and that will give another clearer picture of how you sit, and how everybody thinks about. And again, this is not a negative thing. This is about now aligning all your direction and marketing and advertising within the business, and it gives you a good, clear insight on that. And then we're into the WORDCLOUD exercise. Now, what we can do here is you might find that a lot of your marketing material from your website to any of the brochures, if you can get hold of all the text from that content from everything you have, you can compile it all together. And what you would do is we would analyze that in a WORDCLOUD. So you can go to WORDCLOUD, put all the text in, all the words in, and it will build a picture that highlights what words that you're using, how often they're using them, which are the key ones that are appearing. From a design company, we would probably have more about the design side of things, or we're talking about customers, because ultimately it's about customers that we generally talk about. And so what you would end up with is a cloud that would look something like this, and this will help identify what you're saying as a business through your marketing, which are the main words. There are other tools out there other than WordArt, but WordArt is a really nice one to be able to do that. And it creates a nice image that you can then see visually and have an understanding of what your business is about, what you're communicating to them, and again, what your customers are seeing, because they will pick up on these words within it, and you will know that this is sort of the density of the content. And finally, it's the brand archetypes. This one's obviously probably worth a little bit more reading later on. But what you can do is you're effectively going to look at these brand archetypes and see how you define your so how you can define your business and what sort of personality your business has. And there's probably there'll be many people have gone through these archetypes before. When you've got the sage, the innocent, the explorer, the ruler, the creator, the caregiver, the hero, the rebel, the lover, the jester, the orphan. You can go through those and find what suits you. And then once you have this as an idea of what type of brand you are, you can use that to guide you in every decision that you make. And if everybody else understands the type of company you are, it will just give a little bit more clarity to everything that you're doing. So that's everything from our presentation today. It's fairly brief and a quick overview of everything that we to do with looking at the culture and sort of a brand experience point of view. It's a much broader and more comprehensive subject, but try to compact something down today to a little presentation. And again, the download's available for you to try, and it'd be good if you could do that. And I'd be interested to see what results that you come back with.